Good. All right. Good evening. I will now call to order the July 23rd, 2026 regular meeting of the Naperville Park Board of Commissioners. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Marissa, may we have the roll call, please?
President Ruffing.
Here.
Vice President Anzier, absent. Commissioner Balkrishna. Here. Commissioner Jacks, absent. Commissioner Janner.
Here.
Commissioner Riswald, absent. Commissioner Thompson.
Here.
President Ruffing, I've been informed that Commissioner Jacks has requested to participate remotely due to unanticipated family obligations.
Move to allow the remote meeting participation of Commissioner Jacks per Section 7 of the Open Meetings Act.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Thompson.
Yes.
Commissioner Balkrishna.
Yes.
Commissioner Janner.
Yes.
President Ruffing.
Yes. Commissioner Jacks, can you hear us okay?
Yes, good evening.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, Marissa, do we have any matters from the public?
We do not.
All right. Could you please read the consent agenda for us?
Item 3.1, approve June 2026 disbursements made through the Bank of America Purchasing Card Program in the amount of $334,064.96. 3.2, approve June 2026 FinTech disbursements in the amount of $14,656.74. 3.3, approve July 9, 2026 regular meeting minutes. 3.4, approve the contract for the DuPage River Sports Complex Ball Field No. 1 renovation project to Midwest Field Solutions in the amount of $32,775, and to authorize staff to carry a further 5% contingency for a total authorized expenditure for the project in an amount not to exceed $34,413.75. 3.5, approve the investment management agreement with PFM Asset Management, a division of U.S. Bancorp Asset Management, Inc., to provide bond proceeds investment and arbitrage rebate management services, and to authorize the president to execute and the secretary to attest to said agreement.
Thank you. Should any items be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately? Seeing none.
Move to accept consent agenda items 3.1 through 3.5.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Thompson.
Yes.
Commissioner Balkrishna.
Yes.
Commissioner Jacks.
Yes.
Commissioner Janner.
Yes.
President Ruffing.
Yes.
Move to approve consent agenda items 3.1 through 3.5.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Great.
Aye.
Thank you. No unfinished business. Moving on to discussion new business, and we'll begin with 5.1, the 2026 to 2028 strategic plan progress update, quarter 3 for 2026.
Yes, I'll take this one. Earlier this year, the board adopted the 2026 through 2028 strategic plan, identifying strategic goals and related tasks. Each year on a semi-annual basis, staff will provide a progress update on the goals. The first update was included in the July 10th weekly packet and is also included in the packet of discussion items for today's meeting. The update outlines the progress made within the first 2 quarters of 2026. A few highlights from the update include under the long-term goal of addressing indoor space needs across Naperville, including adding new facilities, reducing wait lists, and continuing to expand presence in South Naperville. The district approved an A&E services contract for developing the new Community Activity Center at Frontier Sports Complex on April 9th. Additionally, the district executed building commissioning, construction management, and geotechnical engineering and professional services contracts at the June 25th Park Board meeting. The team is currently working on the schematic design phase. The new Community Activity Center at Frontier Sports Complex is scheduled to be completed and open for public use in 2029. Under the short-term goal of addressing recreation needs of an evolving and growing community, focusing on the distribution of programs and services throughout Naperville, staff are evaluating our active adult and seniors programming area to better meet the needs of all adults by expanding and diversifying program offerings. This includes increasing the number of senior seminars, introducing a wider variety of relevant topics, and moving seminars to evening hours to make them more accessible for individuals who work during the day. Additionally, staff developed and launched Glow in the Snow, a new free winter family event at Central Park that provided an engaging community experience while educating participants about animals, the night sky, and astronomy. Free summer fitness classes are also being held at the 95th Street Wagner Family Pavilion. Under the long-term goal of implementing innovative approaches to enhance service levels and maintain the Park District's reputation as a trusted community organization, earlier this year, the district implemented the new Maintenance Matters online reporting tool for residents to report maintenance issues in parks. The tool is part of the OpenGov software utilized by the district for asset maintenance and management. Information gathered from the Maintenance Matters system will assist the district in identifying and providing timely responses to maintenance issues. And the final example under the long-term goal of maintaining and strengthening collaboration with community partners to address community needs, maximize and leverage resources, and remain responsible stewards of public funds. The district continues to collaborate with several community partners, including the Naperville Police Department, for officer-required training, as well as collaboration on managing teen takeovers with the assistance of Forest Preserve District Police and Fox Valley Park District Park Police. The district also collaborated with the Sister Cities Commission on the installation of a Monarch Way Station at Knock Knolls Park. Staff will continue to work towards achieving the goals identified in the strategic plan and will provide another update in the first quarter of 2027. And if there are any questions regarding the first progress update on any of the goals, we'd be happy to answer them this evening.
Thank you. Any questions? All right. Thank you for that very concise review. It's always helpful, and I think it says a lot about us that we really keep ourselves to this. So thank you very much. All right, moving on to are we good to move on? Okay. 5.2, the temporary art display resolution.
Yes, Naperville Art Forum, Partnership for Public Arts, is proposing a temporary lighting display named Lotus to occur at the Paddleboat Quarry located on the Riverwalk. The lighting display will take place for approximately 4 weeks in fall 2026 after the conclusion of the paddleboat rental season. Renderings of the proposed Lotus display and additional information regarding the project were included in the July 17th weekly packet. Displays of public art on the Riverwalk are considered speech acts. Such speech acts are forbidden on the Riverwalk unless they occur within the designated free speech areas or unless the speech act is that of the city or the park district. From time to time, the Park District has formally accepted the donation of items for display or otherwise formally adopted and directed the installation of suggested displays through the approval of a resolution, thereby making the display a corporate act of government speech. Staff intends to submit a resolution for the temporary lighting display for board consideration at an upcoming meeting. If approved, the resolution would recognize the display as an act of speech by the Park District. Please let me know if there are any questions regarding the proposed display or the resolution.
Okay, well, I obviously have questions. And I fully recognize that Naperville Art Forum is not here, so I'm going to maybe ask my questions to you, Executive Director Wilson, and maybe
Absolutely.
you can help. So my questions are as follows. I looked at the tech info that they shared with us, and I noticed, the power and energy parts really just talked about the setup. So I'm curious about, the actual, the color temperature in kelvins, what that will be if they're able to tell us, when it's lit. And it is up, I'm understanding it correctly that it would be uplit.
That's our
Correct.
understanding,
Okay.
yes.
And then the timing, I know it kind of said in the fall, once paddle boats. So is there a little bit of a sense of when this would be?
Yeah, it's the temporary dates right now would be a late September installation, and then it would be in place for about the first 3 weeks of October, just
Okay.
based on the draft schedule right now.
Yeah. So that's obviously my concern is with dark skies that timing of the year is when migrating birds are at the height in the fall. So I would just knowing what that color temperature is I think is really important. Acknowledging that this is uplit light makes me a little bit hesitant, and then obviously the timing of it. But thank you for listening to those questions and asking them.
Yeah, and I will reach out to Art Forum to gather some additional information, and when I have that, I'll share it with the board.
Does anybody else have any questions?
Mine was also with regards to the timing because I wasn't really sure when it was going to happen. So I'm glad President Ruffing asked that. So once you have an idea of kind of when that's going to be, then I appreciate it.
Yep. Yeah, and I do know in discussions that this display also would not be an all-night display, that it would be set as a timer to turn on at a certain time during the evening, and then we would work with Art Forum as to when that shut-off time would be, but I believe it would be something like 10 o'clock.
So those times are set ahead of time, right? Of when they're going to.
We would set, they would set those ahead of time in agreement with us as to what times the display could be on.
Okay.
Yeah, I would definitely be curious. I'd love to know exactly the timing they're thinking. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to 5.3, 87th Street Bridge Replacement Request for Temporary Construction Easement.
Good evening. The city of Naperville has been working in conjunction with the Illinois Department of Transportation to replace the 87th Street Bridge that crosses Springbrook Creek, just east of Plainfield Naperville Road. The 87th Street Bridge lies adjacent to the north of the Park District Springbrook Parkway property. While the city intends to keep most of the work within the public right-of-way, the city is requesting a 10-foot wide temporary construction easement along the northern edge of Springbrook Parkway. This temporary easement is needed for minor earthwork and grading behind the proposed retaining wall associated with the new bridge. All structures and signage would be placed within the right-of-way, and this easement would not be used for storing any kind of equipment or material at any time. The city has prepared an IGA granting a temporary construction easement and land use permit review by the staff and legal counsel for the bridge replacement project. In the past, the Park District has reviewed and authorized similar temporary construction easement requests for minor grading and drainage improvements along park property lines. If there is an interest in proceeding, an ordinance to execute the intergovernmental agreement granting a temporary construction easement and land use permit will be presented for approval at a future park board meeting. Any questions on that?
Doesn't look like it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, 5.4, Centennial Beach Pump House Plumbing Improvements.
A contract for this project is expected to be presented to the park board for approval in August. The scope of work includes replacement of aging valves, corroded hangers, hardware, and supports, as well as reconfiguration of piping in a way to improve overall access for staff to safely and efficiently maintain the systems within the pump house. The work is expected to take place this fall when Centennial Beach is closed for the season, with the intent to reach substantial completion by the end of the year.
Great. All right. Moving on to 5.5, Nike Sports Complex basketball court and tennis court renovation.
A contract for this project is planned to be presented to the park board for approval in August as well. A total of 8 tennis courts and 2 basketball courts are ready to be renovated at Nike Sports Complex. The Park District developed the courts as part of the Nike Sports Complex expansion property and improvements that were completed in 2011. The scope of work consists of asphalt mill and overlay, color coding and striping of the courts, goal and net replacement, and landscape restoration. The project work is slated to commence in the summer with the goal to reach substantial completion in the fall.
Sounds great. All right, moving on to 5.6, Old Farm Greenway shoreline stabilization.
A contract for stabilizing the shoreline of the creek that extends through the portion of Old Farm Greenway is anticipated to be presented to the park board for approval in August. The project area extends from 87th Street north to Foxcroft Road, adjacent to Townhome Community Parking Lot. The scope of work for this project includes removal of invasive and undesirable trees, grading of the ditch to remove silt and debris that has accumulated, and installation of native seed along the shore. The permit from DuPage County has been received, and staff is awaiting the permit from the city of Naperville. Pending contract approval, the work is expected to begin in August with the intent to reach substantial completion by the end of the year.
All right, great. 5.7, Willow Way Commons Trail Guardrails Replacement.
A contract for this project is expected to be presented to the park board for approval in August. The scope of work includes replacement of existing guardrails along a segment of the DuPage River Trail that extends through Willow Way Commons. These guardrails prevent trail users from accidentally going over the trail edge into DuPage River as it passes under the BNSF railway tracks. In recent years, staff have made several repairs to these guardrails to stabilize them and replace deteriorated components. The intent is to replace the guardrail with a more durable design and structure to better withstand impacts from floodwaters and associated debris. Pending contract approval, work is expected to occur this fall with the intent to reach substantial completion by the end of the year.
Go ahead, please.
I just had a question. Was this impacted by, because I know that area was impacted by the storms recently. Was this one of the things, was there any like damage or anything?
There was minor damage, and what we found over the years when we have major storm events, the railing actually gets bent and it needs to be kind of positioned back into place. And years, or I should say duration or event after event, it's just wearing down.
Yeah.
And so that's why we're requesting a full replacement of the guardrail.
Okay. I was just curious to like how much damage was, obviously with all the storms happening too. And I know that area was really impacted. So thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Great. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you. Next up, everybody's favorite, 5.8, Declaration of Surplus.
I was going to say, it seems like we just did this one. District staff have identified several items as no longer needed for Park District purposes and we anticipate providing a declaration of surplus property ordinance for approval at the August 13th, 2026 regular meeting of the board. This declaration of surplus would be the third of 4 planned annual surplus declarations. At this time, a detailed list of the items supplied by multiple departments is still being finalized and will be provided in an upcoming weekly packet. As is our normal practice, once the declaration is approved, each item would be sold, recycled, traded in, or disposed of.
Great, thanks. And then 5.9, 2027 recycling dumpster services contract.
Keeps getting more exciting. At an upcoming meeting in August, staff plan on recommending exercising the option to renew recycling and dumpster services for 2027 with Groot Industries, Inc. The original contract, approved in October of 2025 for the 2026 calendar year, allowed for 2 option renewal years. Approval of this contract would be the first renewal option. Groot has been the district provider for these services since 2017 and continues to provide prompt, dependable service. More details will be provided in an upcoming weekly packet.
Great. Any questions? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to department updates, we will begin with admin.
Good evening. I just have a quick update. The district's policies have now been made available in Diligent, and we will no longer be using board docs. So you can access this page by going to Diligent's homepage and selecting the policy button. You may have to scroll down on the screen to see that. But if you have any questions about Diligent moving forward, please feel free to reach out to me.
Thank you. Next up is finance.
Good evening. I have 2 updates for you tonight. We officially kicked off the 2027 budget process this week. Finance hosted 2 training sessions for our management team, and they were well attended. And next, as we gear up for referendum project activity, a dedicated referendum fund has been established to track and monitor all related finances. The fund is now included in the treasurer's report, and in the near future, enhanced reporting will be provided. Do you have any questions?
Any questions? Thank you. That's kind of exciting.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay. 6.3 golf.
Good evening. A few updates from golf. First, this past weekend, we had our 2026 Naperville Men's Amateur. That was held at Naperbrook and Springbrook Golf Course. Over 150 players participated. And despite all the difficult weather conditions we've had this month, the courses were in excellent shape. Tournament saw some great competition. The winning score was 2 under par for 36 holes. And all participants enjoyed an excellent lunch provided by our concession staff. On the horizon for tournaments in August is our Women's Invitational at Springbrook, and then finally the Glen Eakey Senior Amateur to wrap up the major events for 2026. Springbrook is proud to once again host a regional qualifier for the Illinois Junior Special Olympics. This event has been hosted by Springbrook since 2019, and this year the competition will be on Wednesday, July 29th, beginning at 9 a.m. Participants will be competing in several skill challenges, including putting, chipping, and full swing. And once again, we're expecting over 100 young athletes at this qualifier. Athletes from this regional who qualify will then move on to the state championships in September. Most of our summer junior programs have wrapped up or will be finishing by next week. It was a very successful and busy summer program season with over 600 junior golfers in our camps, clinics, and leagues learning and enjoying the game. I do have to mention and thank our professional staff who have been teaching these programs through the summer. They've been outside for several hours daily, several days a week, in what has been a very warm summer. So their love of the game of golf and teaching certainly has been evident this season. Onto the golf courses, as mentioned, they remain in excellent shape. The courses were fortunate to dodge most of the flooding that happened earlier this month, but did receive heavy rains and storms over the July 4th weekend. Beyond limiting rounds and cart availability, the heat and heavy rain did not significantly damage either of the golf courses. And then looking at the midpoint of our golf season, the round totals continue to be positive despite the difficult weather and air quality issues we've had this month. July rounds are down a little bit, about 5% for the month, as the storms over the July 4th weekend and the extreme heat have impacted participation. However, year-to-date overall rounds are still up about 3% compared to last year. Revenues are reflecting the current round totals, with overall revenues tracking about 7% ahead of budget and about 3% ahead of last year. A couple areas to highlight: merchandise sales, which have seen an increase year-to-date of nearly 17% compared to last year. Staff has been attributing the increase to sales to several demo days, which offered at both golf courses, which has helped promote club purchases. Also, total revenues for our food and beverage operations have increased nearly 12% compared to last year. And that's been helped by the slight increase in rounds, but also updates to the menu and pricing completed by staff this season, increasing their profits while also improving menu consistencies between the two golf courses.
That's great. That's all great news. Does anybody have any questions? I was wondering how the air quality was.
Yeah, it slowed down a
affecting-
little bit that week between
Yeah.
that and the temperatures.
Yeah.
Definitely in the afternoons, we saw things slow down a little
Yeah.
bit.
All right. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
All right. 6.4 Human Resources. I almost jumped ahead.
Good evening. Earlier this month, HR Source presented the results of the Employee Engagement Survey to me, Executive Director Wilson, and HR Administrator Lisette Zuniga. Starting in August, the three of us will meet with directors, superintendents, and managers to present themes gleaned from the survey results and review the highest scored statements and the lowest scored statements in the respective areas. Directors, superintendents, and managers will be charged with creating a plan to address the feedback in their department or division. Executive Director Wilson, Lisette, and I will work on plans to address matters that are district-wide. In keeping with the survey theme, the district's Wellness Committee, under the Benefits and HR Coordinator Cindy Bittenbinder's leadership, has issued a survey to benefit eligible employees. The survey seeks feedback regarding the various components of the program, including biometric screening, monthly webinars, challenges, health coaching, Fun Fitness Fridays, and the Wellness Incentive Program. The survey closes on July 31st, and the committee will use the survey feedback when developing the 2027 Wellness Program. Finally, the Insurance Committee reconvened today to further discuss the January 1, 2027 health insurance renewal. Using actual data compiled by actuaries, we discussed potential changes to employee contribution levels and plan design changes. The committee continues to provide valuable input and creative solutions that will be helpful as we build the 2027 budget.
Great.
Questions?
Questions? Okay.
All right,
Thank you very much. I know there is no IT report, so we will move on to 6.6 Marketing.
Good evening. I have two second quarter updates for you. First of all is our social media. So Q2 was one of the most significant quarters with regard to social media growth over the last 3 years, and that's since we hired Connor as our digital marketing specialist. Across all of our channels, we saw audience growth and organic reach, in addition to boosts in overall engagement. For example, 21 posts across our various platforms such as TikTok, which we added recently, Instagram, Facebook, and X, generated more than 100 engagements each, illustrating that audiences are interacting with our content, which is great to see. Additionally, paid social media continues to yield favorable results, supporting several initiatives over the last quarter, including preseason beach membership sales, a beach membership push during the month of June, preschool ad, and camps ads. So we're continuing to monitor our circulation, the reach of the paid ads, cost per purchase based on ad budget spends, and program and membership purchases. And just continuing to do more good things, and hopefully going to see more good things as far as registrations. Secondly, I've got a Q2 sponsorship and advertising update. So there was a board memo in the July 10th packet, and while we're still moving towards our 2026 revenue goal of $375,000, we are encountering some attrition, unfortunately, that we're seeing. And it's a result of many different reasons. There's business closures, staffing changes, budget reductions at various businesses. So unfortunately, that's impacting what we're seeing from a sponsorship perspective. We'll continue to watch and see what happens over the next couple of quarters, but I certainly wanted to give the board an update and just kind of give you a heads up that that's what we're seeing. So we are continuing to meet with new businesses. We're continuing to work with our current partners to expand contracts, which we've got so many sponsors that are very, very happy with what we do and how we're able to help expand their exposure. So really looking to leverage that. And then also continuing to look at ways that we can expand our inventory.
Great. Any questions? I loved the Stacy and the Woody Buick. It was amazing.
It was very fun.
I just love all your content.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We're having a good time with it.
And it brings eyeballs. It's great.
Absolutely. Well, and it's another way too that we're recognizing our premier partners.
Exactly. I love that. So thank you very much.
Wonderful. All right, thank you.
All right, moving on to 6.7 Park Police. I know. She's so good at it.
Good evening. Just a couple things here for you. We started this summer with 8 Park Service officers, and we're losing 2. One has resigned to work as an emergency medical technician for Endeavor Health, and the other is being hired as a Chicago police officer. This actually brings to 7 the total number of PSOs that have moved on to full-time police officer positions in the last 5 years. So it's been kind of cool to be a part of. Back on July 3rd, the Park Police responded with the Will County Sheriff's Police, the Will County Forest Preserve Police, the Bolingbrook Fire Department, the Naperville Fire Department for a swift water rescue in the area of Naperville Plainfield and 104th. The rescue involved a total of 6 kayakers out of 12 that overturned. Fortunately, all were located safe. I think the very next day we were downtown Naperville for the gentleman that flipped out of his flotation device and had to be rescued from the shoreline along the river behind the Burger King. So in the wake of that, we're actually meeting with the Conservation Department, Department of Natural Resources, the Conservation Police, the Forest Preserve Police, and we're going to see if we can't figure out some ways to discuss river safety, rescue operations, jurisdiction, and even enforcement options when it comes to water rescues that, quite honestly, could have been prevented. So we're just going to start the conversation, see where it takes us. Lastly, the Park Police have assisted with 2 teen takeovers in the last month, and we are preparing to assist the City Police with an ice vigil tomorrow night in the downtown. There is also a pro-ice rally that's being advertised and may be taking place at Nike Park. Either way, we'll be a part of both of them. So.
Great. Thank you for that. I don't think people realize how dangerous the river can be when we get all that rain. So I'm glad you guys are starting that conversation.
It was particularly frustrating when other kayakers were going
by
the scene while we were trying to pull others out.
I'm sure it was. Well, thanks for everything. Okay, moving on to 6.8 Parks.
Hello again. Mother Nature certainly kept our park staff busy this summer. As you'll all recall, Naperville area experienced the high wind, tornado, flooding, multiple heavy rainfall events, and heat indices over 100 degrees in last month. We worked through those challenges and thought we were finally headed towards calmer weather until July arrived and brought another round of severe weather impacts. The storms and flooding over the July 4th weekend caused additional damage throughout the district. While the true damage was not as extensive as what we experienced during June's derecho and tornado, the storms delivered an estimated 4 to 6.5 inches of rain in town, resulting in flooding at several district properties. Over the following days, staff focused on cleanup efforts, removing broken branches and debris left by receding floodwaters, clearing clogged drains and culverts, and replacing mulch that had washed out from tree rings and landscape beds. Along the Riverwalk, high water made portions of the path temporarily unavailable. Once the river receded, staff replaced damaged plantings, replenished mulch, pressure washed surfaces, and restored the walkways for public use. One area that sustained particularly significant damage was at the DuPage River Sports Complex. On field number 5, the synthetic turf field experienced a subsurface washout of infill and sand, creating a wrinkling effect across the turf surface. The stormwater then flowed downhill to field number 2, washing out the on-deck areas, home plate, both baselines, and portions of the infield, while also depositing all of the sand from field 5 onto the infield mix. Both fields remain temporarily closed until repairs are completed. Portions of the retaining wall behind field number 2 backstop were also dislodged by the water flow, requiring about half of the wall to need to be rebuilt. Members of our Human Resource Department and I met with a Perderma claims adjuster to review the impacts, document losses, and assist with insurance claim process. To better understand the impact of these weather claims, staff utilized our new computerized maintenance management system to track the labor, materials, and contractual services associated with the June 10th and 11th storm response. Those documented costs alone totaled nearly $77,000, providing us with a clear picture of the resources required to respond to a significant weather event and the value of having some accurate operational data. In addition to storm-related challenges, the warmer summer months continued to create seasonal challenges with aquatic vegetation management in several of our ponds. Staff continue to encounter situations where ponds without a previous history of aquatic vegetation issues begin to experience significant growth throughout the summer months. Last summer, the pond at Wildflower Park began exhibiting increased algae growth and subsurface aquatic vegetation concerns. Recognizing the early signs of a developing issue, staff proactively contracted with a pond management specialist beginning in mid-May, with visits scheduled every 2 weeks throughout the spring, summer, and fall months. The contractor advised that restoring the pond to its previous condition would require a phased treatment approach over time. The primary concern with the establishment was the establishment of a weed called coontail, a subsurface aquatic plant that is matured enough for portions to protrude from the surface during lower water conditions and creating an undesirable appearance. The recommended approach was to first address the subsurface growth before then treating the surface algae. However, as the plant materials decompose, nutrients are released back into the water, which can temporarily increase algae growth before conditions improve. Unfortunately, that seems to be the stage we are currently experiencing at Wildflower Park. So while residents are understandably expect to see a rapid improvement following a treatment after application, aquatic management is a biological process, and visible results can take several weeks as treatments take effect and the ecosystem responds. Staff and our contractor continue to monitor conditions closely and adjust the management approach as needed to restore and maintain the long-term health and appearance of the pond. Staff is in the process of mailing letters out to nearby residents, explaining a bit more about what's happening with the pond and our efforts to improve site conditions. And then with all that said, we are certainly hoping Mother Nature provides us with a much less eventful reminder this summer.
Yes, to that. Does anybody have any questions? Okay. And thanks for talking us through the pond situation. I appreciate that. Thanks for keeping the residents informed.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on to planning and development.
I have one item for the board this evening, and that's the 2027 Capital Projects Community Review and Online Input Opportunity. Staff recently sent letters to residents as part of the 2027 Capital Projects Community Review and Online Input Opportunity event scheduled for Thursday, July 16th through Thursday, July 30th. Conducting this event annually and providing residents with the opportunity to share input is identified in the Park District Public Participation Process and Capital Projects Policy. Similar to the approach followed when administering community review events for capital projects in the past, the Park District is utilizing numerous methods of communications with residents as part of this initiative, including project maps and letter notifications sent to adjacent properties. This is with a 250-foot radius from park sites with a minimum of 100 notification letters per each site. Press release, site signage, outdoor marquee, and indoor digital screens, and social media and website. The 2027 Capital Projects Community Review and Online Input Opportunity event consists of the following high-profile projects: Baileywood Park, the shoreline restoration; Country Commons, playground renovation; Creekside Park, playground renovation; Crest Creek Park, playground renovation; Hobson Grove, natural area management; Plank Road, playground development. As we know, the Plank Road is a new park that will soon be added to our park inventory; and Wolf's Crossing Community Park ball field installations. Input received as part of this initiative, showcasing proposed improvements, will be provided in a follow-up weekly packet memo after the event later this summer. The input gathered from the event will be considered in developing project designs, construction drawings, and estimates in preparation for formulating the 2027 capital budget.
Great. Thank you. Any questions? All right. Thanks a lot. And finally, recreation.
Good evening. Registration for fall programming and winter break camp starts on Monday, August 3rd at 8:30 a.m. for residents and Thursday, August 6th for non-residents. Examples of some new programming being offered this fall include Tinkering Lab for early childhood ages, home safety for youth, and parent-child holiday ornaments. We're a little over halfway through the summer at Centennial Beach. Compared with our 3-year average, both membership and daily fee revenues are trending lower so far this year. Daily fee revenue is currently about 9% below the 3-year average, while membership revenue is approximately 4.6%. A contributing factor to this decline has been several weather-related closures throughout the summer. The beach was closed on multiple days due to severe weather and the cleanup efforts that followed storms in June. In addition, the beach was closed for nearly 2 days last week because of poor air quality. Staff will further analyze attendance results as we near the end of summer. Part of the evaluation will include a review of weather impacts in 2026 as compared to prior seasons. The Centennial Beach season will run through Labor Day weekend in early September. We have our first night at the movies next Friday, July 31st at Rotary Hill. The movie is Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey. The movie starts at 8:30 p.m. with bingo before at 7:30. The Park District recently participated in IPRA's Unplugged Illinois, which is a statewide initiative that inspires people to get outdoors and experience the benefits of parks, recreation, and conservation. July 11th through July 19th, we had participants visit 3 of the recommended 15 parks and complete 1 of the suggested activities at each location. Participants then submitted their form where they entered into a drawing for one of 3 Park District gift cards. We had 15 forms submitted, and we are looking forward to building participation in these activities in future years. The 10th anniversary celebration, 10 years strong, on August 22nd for Fort Hill from 9 a.m. to noon. Free track, open gymnastics, yoga, Zumba. WDSRA will be offering a sensory room. In addition, there will be an AI photo booth, prize drawings, and light refreshments while supplies last. Free Zumba in the park on Friday, July 24th at 6:30 p.m. Attendance is free. Registration is required. The annual volunteer celebration will take place this Sunday, July 26th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Centennial Beach. This year, we are expecting more than 900 volunteers and family members to attend as we recognize and celebrate the individuals who have contributed 10 or more volunteer hours throughout the year. The celebration is our opportunity to express our appreciation for the individual support our volunteers provide to Park District parks, leagues, and programs. The evening will include a picnic dinner, prize drawings, a temporary tattoo station, and of course, swimming at Centennial Beach. We look forward to celebrating the dedication of our amazing volunteer community. Junior Tour de Naperville is in full prep for the August 8th event. We are in the process of finishing up the adult softball leagues. Registration within the 12-inch league is up this year compared to last year. This season will conclude with a 12-inch all-city tournament that will include the top 2 to 3 teams from each division squaring off in a 19-team tournament. The Flag Football League will begin practicing the week of August 24th. Registration is up from last year, and looks like we will have a couple of all-girls teams this season. Registration will begin in August for the first youth volleyball league offering. Staff have hired 2 new athletic coordinators, and Naperville youth basketball preparation is in full prep for the upcoming fall and winter seasons. Paddleboat quarry boat sales are down 10.8% over the same time last year, although food sales are up 19.3% and beverage sales are up 7.6%. Gross sales at Centennial Beach Grill are down 6.6% from the same time period last year, and order count is down 8.9% due to closures because of rain and poor air quality days. Carillon tours are up 22.9% over the same time last year. Any questions?
Any questions? Wonderful. Thank you so much
Awesome.
for all
Thank
that.
you.
Appreciate that. All right. Our next regular meeting of the Board of Park Commissioners is scheduled for August 13th, 2026 at 7 p.m. here at Fort Hill.
Move to adjourn the July 23rd, 2026 regular meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, everyone.
Is there executive session tonight?